Hi, Lynn.
Ronnie, how are you?
I'm doing fine.
I sent you an email because I couldn't find the link
I
to the
saw it,
meeting.
but
I
apparently you
found it
found
in
it.
the thread.
Okay, good.
I just had to go back to all the conversations and then I found it.
All right. Well, I've been trying when I send out the agenda notification to include the link just in case that happens because it's happened to
Right.
me before too.
Yeah.
So I try.
I can only stay on for about a half an hour because I sing in a Compline choir on Thursday nights every week. And so these Thursday nights are always going to be short for me because I have to be there by 7:15. I have to leave the house at 6:45.
Okay,
So
that's all
I
right.
can make it till 6:30.
That's all right. That's all right.
Okay.
That's fine. You have to leave. You go right ahead.
Oops. Yeah.
Hi, Chris and
Howdy.
Drew. I say Drew's joined.
Hey, Ronnie, how are you?
All right.
Hello. Hello.
Let's see. Chris, do you know if Guillermo will be joining us tonight?
I haven't heard that he
Okay.
would be. Yeah.
I was curious. Lynn just informed me that she has to leave early. So I told her that was fine. Okay. Jerry's joining. Okay.
I read it over anyway.
Okay.
Got a chance to look at it.
Okay. Good thing. Well, I think in that case, I will kind of move the agenda up and we will start discussing the natural resources inventory. Sorry, I'm just trying to find my copy of the document. And unfortunately, I had gone through and made my comments before I got the latest version from Jerry with his new links and so forth. So I think I had probably found some of the same link problems that Jerry did, but that be that as it may. So let's first of all, let me welcome everyone to the September 28th CSC/CEC task force meeting, Village of Lansing. I started the meeting at about right at about 6 o'clock. So it began recording when I started the meeting. So I think what I'll do is I will share my version that I've got and we'll go through page by page and we will discuss everyone's comments. Hang on just a moment. I'll turn sharing on. Just making sure that I'm sharing the right. I'll just share my desktop screen. Okay, good. Document. Can everyone see that?
Yes.
Okay, good. I'm just playing around with getting some of the Zoom little pop-ups out of the way. All right, we'll just kind of go through this. I found the Google Earth image of the village and sent that to Jerry and Guillermo for the cover photo. So that's what's showing right now. It was a larger image. I cropped it down to pretty much get the boundaries of the village. The one exception is I did not cut off the southeastern edge of the airport, the runways. I thought I would leave the runways complete, but otherwise it's pretty much the village, and then some of the image goes out into the lake just to show that we have some waterfront. Anything on that page?
It's a nice photo.
Okay, the next page is basically the acknowledgements page. I had a couple of comments, but does anyone else have comments on this page?
No,
Okay.
not for me anyway.
The last sentence here, most up-to-date information available as of fall of 2022. Do we want to change that to 2023?
Why? I don't know how much has been tweaked and added since last year. How much is new information?
Well, we have tweaked it within the year of 2023.
Yeah,
The only concern I have, and I marked this, and then as I got further into the document, into the links, if we cannot find good links for now, we might want to leave this as fall of 22, and that would pretty much cover us as far as having old URLs. It seemed like there were a couple of governmental sites, state and or federal, that changed their website, and finding the correct link is kind of problematic. Jerry, did you have that problem too?
I actually got most of them. So a lot of the broken links I was able to find the resources for, but
Okay.
for the purposes of this document, I think leaving it as 2022 would be fine, because when you did the research on this, it was not from this year. So if
Okay.
in case any of the data is old, I think leaving it as 2022 is better.
Okay, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. Let's see if I can remove the thread and leave that alone. Also, there was an asterisk by the executive summary, and I wasn't sure why. It didn't point me to anything on the page.
Yeah, that can probably be deleted. I don't think it needs to be there.
I think that originally Rachel had asterisked parts of the document that needed to be completed, and I think that I wrote the executive summary, but I just didn't remove the asterisk, so I wanted to be sure before we do that. Okay, so I will see if it will let me do this. I guess I have to remove the thread before I can delete that. Yeah, okay. Okay. Anything else on this page?
no,
Go ahead. Oh, no,
no, I
you said
was
no.
just
Oh,
saying
okay,
no.
I thought you
Yeah,
were getting ready to say-
no, looks
How about
good.
the next page, Roman numeral 2. I
Mhm.
moved too fast, just speak up. The contents, I don't think will change by anything that's done in the document, but we can double check that as at the end, run a new index and see if any page numbers change. Okay, so that's page Roman numeral 3. Then we get into the actual documents content, page 1, the introduction. Anything on that page? Page 2.
No, it's all good content.
Yeah, I didn't really have any changes or comments to the documents after Guillermo. Guillermo and I went through a few of the stuff together.
Okay.
So the only thing that I added on at the end, on top of Guillermo's edits, was the link revisions and
Okay.
the references, because we didn't have any throughout the entire document. So
Okay, then I'll just give Lynn and Drew a chance to speak up.
Yep,
If
good.
they find anything. I've got a few
Yeah.
more anything.
Ronnie, I just wanted to point out, it seems like we're kind of at the stage of small details here on the index, or sorry, the table of contents. The executive summary also has an asterisk in front of it.
I think
so.
when we update that,
Okay.
since we changed the title, it will disappear. This is like a field within Word.
Okay.
It has to be
Gotcha.
updated, and when we do that at the end, it will pick up any changes to the titles and page numbers.
Okay.
So
Okay, great.
thanks.
Yeah.
So we'll have to be sure and do that. Okay, page 2. Okay, we're at 2. Page 3.
No, it's all good.
Okay, let me go through. Page 4. I didn't really find anything until later in the document, but I want to give everyone a chance. Page 5. Page 6.
Looks fine.
Okay, page 7. I found what I did here, Jerry, is I thought that this level of heading originally was it was the same size as the text, and it didn't really stand out. It kind of got lost. So I increased the size of this level 3 heading all the way through the document. It didn't seem to change any of the page numbers though. So that's the reason I put this note in here.
Okay. Yeah, I think
So-
that's fine.
Okay. I'm going to remove that. And I just think it's the same size as the geology and soils now, but it's not bold and it's italic. So it makes those stand up a little
Yep,
better. Stand
You
out a
can
little
pick it up.
I just have a small, I not necessarily want to change it, but I just want to, on page 5 and 6, when I read this, it just, we don't need to change it, but we do regional climate overview and we're talking about climate characteristics, recent climate impacts. It seems like such a point to just pick those few months. I don't know if we can have like the last couple years or something like that, but when I just read this, it just seemed odd to kind of, for something, a big change, just to have, well, here's what it was in 2021. And I guess if this is consistent with, I mean, the warming we would expect to be consistent, but I'm not sure is this rainfall consistent with what we hope? I know that year to year stuff can be quite different, but I just want to know what the reason was for just picking out those single years or single,
That's a good
few
point.
seasons.
That's a good point.
I don't want to create a lot of work at this point. It's not a big deal, but I'm not sure that those patterns, I think the precipitation may be higher from what I understand, but these snapshots can differ depending on whether a Nino or El Nino or La Nina. So, yeah, but I think it's fine. It's fine the way it is. But if we have a chance to kind of think about more of a trajectory, or that might be kind of, or at least a couple years, that might be interesting.
The thing that, I don't know, the thing that I'm interested in is the climate normals are based on 1991 to 2020 data. And
Yeah.
the rankings are based on 1895 to 2021. So
I see.
I don't know. I think this is just a snapshot of through 2021. So I think it's a composite of all of that data. Am I interpreting that right, Jerry?
Yeah, I was just about to say it does. It is it's a conglomerate of data. It's not just the 2 years.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Okay, so that's in same thing for page 6. Now that's a good point, Drew. That's a good catch. I didn't really associate the dates within the heading for that figure, since I had read that little tag of text between the two images.
No, but it looks like you got the right stuff.
Those are good finds. All right, 7, we're done. 8, page 8.
Oh, looks fine.
Page 9. Page 10. Page 11. Page 13. Fourteen. 15. 16. 17. One thing I
Ronnie,
did know, go ahead, Lynn.
well, can you back up just to the flood hazard? Wasn't thinking about this. No, it's further down. Yeah. Below streams. Floodplains right there. Oh, oof, where did I just see it? Just above wetlands? Floodplains. Yeah, flood hazard areas. Are are we sure that we don't have any FHAs within our boundaries according to the new flood maps?
Although I double checked it and I double checked it a couple of, well, at least one version back, and there was
Okay.
nothing listed on the FHA site.
And there's not flooding, even a flood zone down on the lake at
Well,
Poison
no,
Ivy
but this
Point.
is for the village of Lansing.
Yeah, but that is also still the village. And that's the only
Oh,
place
no,
that I
no, no,
remember
there,
seeing-
no, I
Okay.
attended a, one of the meetings when they were talking about, updating the, flood insurance. The village
Yep.
of Lansing had nothing. There was
Okay,
nothing listed
great.
for us.
All right.
So, yeah, I was surprised. I would think of something, but a lot of our waterfront properties are on cliffs. And I don't
Right.
know
We
if
don't
they,
have houses. We don't have houses on the lake, but we do have, Bolton Point is down there.
right,
However, it's interesting because we have chronic flooding in the mall, in
Yeah.
heavy storm events, but it's probably something that's manageable by changing infrastructure rather than
I think
being in
so.
a flood hazard zone.
Right, and we're trying to mitigate that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was surprised. No, they were pretty adamant. There was nothing in the village.
Okay,
And I double
because I've
checked
seen-
the website and there's nothing shown. So,
Boy, the city has changed, and we're pretty lucky then.
yes, we are.
We dodged that one.
Yeah, we
Okay,
did.
that's all I have. Thanks.
Okay. And page 17 then. I had a question about this
Link?
this link. Why it was a link and not it's not in fact
Are those two things? Are those two things that are stuck together by accident? The
Here?
PDF.
No, there's an underscore in between
there's an
wildlife and
underscore
PDF.
there.
Yeah. And actually I wanted to see if we could search.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's the only time it's referred, but I don't think it's in the end notes.
So it's not in the references.
Mm-mm.
Doesn't need to be.
National Wetlands Inventory. Let me search for that. Yeah, that's Fish and Wildlife.
Uh-huh.
And there and there.
Hmm.
So it's just, I don't know if we need to add, what I might do is I checked the link and it was working. So maybe we should add this,
Yeah.
freshwater wetlands delineation manual to the links at the end. Would you mind doing that, Jerry?
Yeah, I can do that.
And then we can just, I guess we can, let me go back.
Yeah, I'm sorry I didn't catch that. I would
Well, that's okay.
I searched through all the hyperlinks and that didn't come up, so
Yeah.
Hmm.
So
It might be good to have it in the appendix because, or in the references, because otherwise it's kind of buried in the
yeah,
text.
I can do that right now. Actually, it'll take me like a minute.
okay.
Okay.
What page is this again?
This is on page 17.
17, okay.
We probably should put that title before the link too, so people know what they're linking to. So
Uh-huh.
let me grab that. I can. Yeah, here we go. And we'll just put a comma right there. So that should take care of that. Okay, I'm going to save this so I don't lose it. All right. So, so that's 17,
Okay.
page 18. Page 19. Page 20. Page 21. Page 22. Page 23. 24. Page 25. 26. I found has 6 didn't have a space between it, so I basically just added a space. Bars in the way here, review. Let me see if it would let me accept that one. Accept that one at a time. So I'll go here. Accept. Next. Okay. So it accepted that one, but I've got it back up now. Yeah.
So I wondered why health is underlined with a dotted line there. I see a blue dotted line under health. And also the spaces between boundaries and parks.
It's a recommendation.
Oh, okay.
It's missing the Oxford comma.
Oh, got it. All right.
And you'll see a little one here.
Yeah.
I think that my word expects 2 spaces between
I
sentences.
thought nobody did that anymore. That's just kind of odd.
I do it.
Yeah.
It's old habit.
Mm-hmm.
I made one change here. It didn't give me a change bar, but I did make it.
Mm-hmm.
This was recommended by Grammar Checker to change this from parks are a reflection of the quality to parks reflect the quality of life.
It's more direct.
It is more direct.
Yep.
So I'm just going
That's
to
wordy.
delete that thread or that comment. Okay, and page 28.
Okay.
9. 30. Page 31. Page 32. Page 33. And then we get into resources and references. Jerry, what I thought I would do is leave this as is. I found some more. I thought that I would just send this document to you and you could compare. I did find this first one had a new URL. I didn't know if you caught it, but I caught some of them. But after a while, I was just having so many problems. I just said broken link, broken link, broken link.
Oh no, I caught all of those except for that first one, the Cayuga one.
Okay.
So I think I
Watershed.
have everything else after that though.
Okay, so they changed their website recently. They set up a new website and changed the address to this cwio.org.
Okay, yeah, I can make a note of that in my document right now, and then
Okay,
I
okay.
think everything else after that I looked at I caught already. Yeah, I
Okay.
did.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I did all of this before I got your email, and I was thinking, well, okay, we'll just straighten it out today. So, the one thing we would have to do, one thing that I would recommend doing after you complete those links is to come back and update that table of contents just to be sure. Well, actually, I can update it here right now. Just have to, yeah, update table. Entire table. There. And so it's got it remove the asterisk, obviously, and have new page numbers. I think that the probably the spacing on these, the paragraph spacing was changed so that it would fit on that one page. Let me see. Yes, I have to do that for a while.
There's a widow.
Yeah, well, it only changed. Well, I'll just change this level too. To 0. Every level. Okay. Puts it on one page again. Make sure. Sorry. And get back to the table of contents. Sources and references are now on page 34. That says 35. So by adding that, so now I will just do there. Okay, so that's back to the way it was, and it picked up that new heading for executive summary. So everything should be good now, and I will save this now. And what I will do is I will send this copy to everyone in the meeting, and Jerry, it's specifically for you to make sure that the URLs are correct at the end of the document, if you would. Probably
Yeah,
you can
sure.
just cut and paste in, and then maybe double check the update this table just to make sure the page numbers are still correct.
Alright,
It
no
should
problem.
be because they're, but all right, so that's done. Anything else on this document before I close it?
No, just the final like question. Are we satisfied with the tone of the report here? Do we think it conveys what the town wants or the village wants to get across?
I think so. Now, we have to go through another review through the trustees. They might have questions or want to make some changes. So if that happens, then we will just ask them if it's okay if they're friendly changes, if we make those changes and then release the document, or do they want to see it again?
Okay, sounds good. Yeah.
Okay. So this is good because and if you would make the changes and send me the final copy before noon on Monday, because I've already got an agenda item on our next trustees meeting Monday night to present this to them. And I wanted to ask you if you could attend, you and or William could attend that meeting to answer questions or address concerns that we might not, Drew or I might not be able to.
Yeah, okay, so no worries, I can do that.
Okay, the meeting starts at 7:30. Let me see, let me bring up the agenda and we'll take a look at it real quick.
So next Monday, 7:30?
Monday at 7:30.
Okay.
Oh, that's the one. I haven't made a folder for it yet, but it is on our website, I believe. So I will go to. Sandbar is exactly in the wrong place. Let's give you an idea. Uh-oh, it's not there either.
It was in that long list. I just saw it. It looked like 10:02. There was a list. I don't know what, it was a drop down or something. I thought I saw it.
Oh,
There. BOT meeting Monday, 10:02.
right, but I was gonna pull up the details, but I think what I can do is get this proposed village.
I'm gonna have to excuse myself.
Okay, Lynn, we got the important part through, so
Well,
that's
great.
why
It looks wonderful. Good work, everybody. Thanks for
Yeah.
all the help. I didn't weigh in.
I
Thank
appreciate
you for being there.
yeah, I appreciate your
Wow, just
You're
I'm
being
so
here.
glad we have it. And it's got a great message, I think, an important one. So
mhm.
I hope we use it. All right, I will see you at the next meeting, I hope.
Okay, Lynn, thanks a lot.
Thanks, Ronnie. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. Okay, here's the is my Zoom bar right in the middle of that text for you? Is it just me? There.
No, it's just for you.
Okay, I'm just moving it out of the way. There we go. So it's right here. And we're going to have a report from Drew and Susan Ainsley about their attendance at the NICOM conference this fall. So you won't necessarily have to be there exactly at 7:30, but we moved through pretty quickly. But I figured that closer to 7:45 to 8 o'clock, you can join the meeting. I will ask Jody and or Mike Scott to send a copy of the link to you. If they don't, I can get you one later too, so that you
Okay.
can join the meeting. It'll be by Zoom. You don't necessarily have to be in the meeting, but you're welcome to attend the village hall too.
All right, sounds
So,
good.
I'll
I'll
leave it
wait
up
for the
to you
link,
and we-
and
Okay.
I'll have the updated document tomorrow, so we'll be set.
Great, that's good. So we'll get that done. Will be another step in this process. So I appreciate it. Okay. Before I forget, no, I won't forget. I will send this document right after this meeting. On Windows for that. So we had taken care of that. The thing, these are still in work. I just get busy and forget to finish these up. I believe I've got all of this documentation and I've got to send it. I've got to figure out what's missing for this documentation. And the recycling bin policy has not been written or approved. We have something informally within our employee handbook, I think, but we don't have any official policy that we've passed by resolution. So I still need to do that with the trustees. Unified solar permit, our planning board is very close to releasing that. I think they're going to wrap it up at their next meeting, which will be the first meeting in October, as long as they don't have enough agenda items that evening to supersede having some time for this. Basically it's our solar panel law, I believe, but the unified solar permit is embedded within that. So that's in process too.
I would.
Go ahead, Drew.
Sorry, that was Drew. Do you want to?
No, I didn't.
I'm sorry.
say it.
I'm not, I've got to get back to my,
Oh, no, no worries. So yeah, Drew, we haven't met before. My name's Chris. I work with Jerry at Cooperative Extension Tompkins, and I work with Ronnie on the Clean Energy Communities actions. So I am Gina's replacement. And so Unified Solar Permit is a climate smart action. And so I can wait to say my piece about it until the thing. So I guess, yeah, sorry to just interrupt there.
no, I'm sorry, Chris. I'm not seeing anyone's faces right now since I'm sharing my screen.
Right.
So, you'll have to speak up.
Yeah.
This has been in work for quite a while. Our planning board wanted to get all of the wording correct for our solar panel law that will go into our village code. And in that, we will mention we will refer to the unified solar permit, and then it will become part of our online applications and forms website, so people can open it up and use it.
Okay.
There was some concern that it was very intense and information dense for a normal solar permit, but I finally convinced them that yes, it asks a lot of information, but it makes everyone think about all the possible issues with a solar installation at the same time. So it's basically helping them plan as they're filling this out, helping them plan in their mind what sorts of things are needed by the village and needed to have a good solar permit. So the planning board finally agreed to that, and we are going to use it. And that way we're in line with that, with the state process. So
yeah. And
Just okay, go ahead, Chris. Go ahead.
no. I was just, and you said that they would probably take it up at the October meeting. Do they need any push to get that done on the sooner rather than later side? Because yeah, I just thinking about it from my perspective, just the sooner that we can get that in for you guys, the sooner we can count it essentially. And
right.
so I really want to make sure that especially because you're not just doing the unified solar permit, because you're doing this in like comprehensive solar law,
Right.
that'll be really great to be able to demonstrate that to NYSERDA again on the earlier side. So I know that they've got other stuff to do. So any amount of pushing, if you need from me, just a statement of, just let me know. Because I'm happy to yeah, because that would be really great to have in.
Okay, what I will do, Chris, is I will speak with Mike Scott, the code enforcement officer. He kind of helps lead the planning board meetings, and ask him if he thinks that would be helpful.
Sure.
And then if they think that it might be good to hear from you for that.
Sure.
I will let you know, and you can plan to join that meeting. And it
Absolutely.
would be, you could join it again. You could either be in person or by saying it's a hybrid meeting.
Sure.
Yeah. That's
cool.
good. That's a good suggestion.
I will be on the lookout for that then. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
Just FYI, Ronnie, a couple weeks ago, I connected Mike Scott with Rebecca Boyd at the City of Ithaca, and I think also she got back to me as with regards to the reason I reached out to her is we were talking about the community choice aggregation plan and the community choice aggregation kind of plus plan, which allows projects to get investors and various financing and kind of co-ownership, owning different pieces of projects and that type of thing. And the question came up, which I don't know, is whether that would create issues with the law in terms of ownership and decommissioning and that type of thing. So I don't know if that is the case. She responded right away and said, "Oh, that's great. Let me get you in touch with, if you guys want, you can set up a call with our lawyer to kind of talk through this." And I talked to Mike Scott the last planning board meeting and went over it again, and he's going to try to reach out to her. I don't think it'll affect it, but I just to make sure that it doesn't.
Okay. Yeah, we're trying to dot all of our I's and cross all of our T's before we put this in the code and have to come along and change it. So
I don't even know. I have to check. I don't know. This is the month that the I think I was supposed to approve the CCA. I
Mhm.
don't. Had my calendar check on October 2nd. So
Right.
I don't know anything. I don't know if they have or not at this point. So it's kind of hard to kind of draft a law with another plan that hasn't is actually passed yet. But might be good to
Yes.
just yeah. Yeah.
What? You're building two boats simultaneously while you're
Yeah.
sailing them? I don't see the problem.
Yeah. Well, maybe too proactive in that case, but yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to the CCA being finalized too.
Yeah.
And just kind of seeing, I know that there were some hiccups within CCA, so but once that's set and it's going, then we're going to pay more attention to it. So yeah, keep your ears and eyes open on that, Drew, and bring it up in any of our meetings that not just CSC, but any of our trustee meetings. You have been, but continue to do that. Okay.
Sure thing.
All right. Planning and infrastructure for bicycling and walking. I still have not heard from the consultant that's going through the municipal participants in the Safe Streets for All action plan. So when I hear from them, I will have more to report. And but that process is in place. We basically are using grant money to write that plan, and part of it is the overall document, but then the individual municipal participants sections within the document that deal with issues and potential projects specific to our municipality. So when that's done, I will let you know. Natural resources inventory we just discussed. Climate smart. Oh, we basically and I've communicated this to everyone in the trustees, and everyone here should know that we were eligible for notified that we were eligible for the action grant related to the clean energy campaign from 2022. So what we're doing right now is trying to determine from a village's standpoint, would we want to use that money? And Drew, I can't remember the name of the person. Drew has invited someone.
Casey Mastro of NYPA. Yeah.
He's going to come and talk with us at our Thursday noon meeting in October 12th, and help us get some ideas. And obviously Jerry and Chris, if you have ideas, I think you have passed along some ideas, but we'll kind of negotiate that when we finally decide what we want to do, what we want to say. I will work on the letter of I can't remember what it's called, letter of commitment, and then we can get the application done too. I've got a link to the online application, and when I start that, then Chris, I might get with you, make sure that I'm going through that process properly. We'll just set up like a half-hour meeting or something, and get it done just like we did for the actual submission of our documents, if that's okay.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm here for. I can take over up to every part of the grant, like the workbook process, except for actually hitting submit. So anything that you okay. That's literally what we're told.
One button.
So any amount of it that exactly. I can grab your wrist, but
power.
Any amount of it that it would be helpful for me to do, just let me know, because I'm available to and I can, I don't know. I am happy to attend this noon meeting with Casey Maestro if that would be helpful.
Maybe.
The only thing is just that Casey probably knows. So it's probably not a huge deal. But the grant does have certain parameters for what it can be spent on, and it's not super prescriptive, but yeah, I'm, like I said, any amount of it that you'd like me to review or sit in on, I'm happy to. So just let me know what you need.
I will do that, and if we come up with something like what we think we're going to work on, I will get you involved, and you can help me make sure that going the right direction within the parameters and worded properly, and then we can make the letter of commitment and actually use that for part of the application. I
Yeah.
will kind of look at the application and see if here's a question for you. Can I start the application and not submit and it will save a draft of it, or is it I've got to finish it through one session?
So there's right, there's two things to kind of look at. There's the sheet, the spreadsheet
Right.
for the grant application. And then the portal on the NYSERDA website.
Yes.
You can save the portal as you're going through,
Okay.
but it's not a terribly involved
I didn't think it
process.
was, as
Yeah.
I recall, but just in case.
Yeah, if you end up getting partway through and you feel like you want to wait and revise something, yeah, you can. There is a save before submit button.
Okay.
And the grant application workbook you just keep on your computer and just will upload when it's ready.
All right.
What's the word? Yeah, but like I said, the process isn't super involved. So generally I've seen people just kind of do it in one because it's it's right
Yeah, it's
there.
not
It's a
that
couple
hard.
clicks. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I remembered it not being too bad, but I didn't know if it changed, and I just wanted to be sure. I might go through and take a look at it just to see if I can start filling some of the things in, and then we can just confirm it with you when we start. But
Yeah,
I'll get
absolutely.
you involved and make sure it's done the right way the first time.
One thing that just mentioned. Oh, sorry, Ronnie. I was just
Go ahead, George.
I think just three things probably with regards to that. One was that looking over the grant, there was a section on pre-approved projects, and they had like a list of. It sounds like that is an easier thing to tackle, maybe focusing on one of those. But I think Casey, he advises villages and kind of on the pathway that's most cost efficient, and I think he worked for NYSERDA before. So
Yeah. Casey, yeah.
Oh, you know him.
Vaguely, yeah. We have past dealings.
Great.
In his role at NYPA, what is he advising communities on? At this, I'm just curious because I know that he did a job very similar to mine once upon a time, and I'm just curious where's NYPA headed? We don't have to talk about it now. I don't want to take too much time, but I'm just yeah.
So without it had a description of all the things that NYPA does, and essentially, he's a lead key I understand lead key account executive is his title, and his role is to work with communities on kind of transitioning to kind of a clean energy or cleaner energy or energy efficiency. I think a lot of it is focused on energy efficiency, frankly.
Yeah.
Also, some of it he was talking about communities put in solar panels and battery storage that as well. So hopefully my hope is at the very least it'll start the discussion because we don't look if we've got 3 months to kind of figure it out. But I also think the pre-approved project looked exciting because it's like, okay, we don't have to reinvent the wheel. And the other thing is I was really hoping, according to him, and I'd have to look at this more, but the Inflation Reduction Act, which is supposed to have kind of the equivalent of tax incentives for nonprofits, municipalities, I guess that language hasn't been formalized yet. But that's another thing, that 5,000 could become a lot more if you're kind of able to tap into that. But I guess we'll leave it to the experts to talk about.
No, Casey will know what he's talking about, which will be great. And the $5,000 grant from NYSERDA doesn't have a ton of strings attached. So it's not as involved a process as some of the larger ones, to the point where really the application is just that first page. You put in that description and you're in. But you're right. Like if you parlay that 5K into an electric vehicle charging station, then when tax season rolls around, you will be able to access, and they are still finalizing it. I'm choosing to be hopeful that they'll have it done in 2024 such that we don't have all these municipalities out here making all these upgrades and then expecting a tax credit and then not getting it. That would be really bad. And I'm really hoping that they're on it because it would make me look silly if nothing else. But
I
What's the word?
No, it will basically just confirm fears that people have with the state level government. That's what
Yeah,
happened.
yeah.
I don't think we
that,
will hold the people down in the trenches responsible. It will be a higher level.
yeah, that would be bad to get wrong for them.
Yeah.
But yeah, in case you'll know, like I said, if you feel like you also want me there just to sit in, I'm happy to do that. But yeah, trying to parlay the 5K grant into some additional funding through, I mean, EVs is a great example. You parlay that 5K grant into a charging station, you can get make ready funding, you can get utility funding, probably you can get IRA funding. So like there might be a way to really turn that 5K into like, 10, 12, I think.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
The only thing about us EV, I was thinking, and I have an EV, so it's great for me to some extent, but I was thinking something like a solar panel, which is more solar panel installation or something like that, which is not everybody has an EV, so maybe the benefits could be more broadly shared. But we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's municipal owned energy resources like that, especially like distributed small scale, not only is that going to go a huge way towards helping the community see the viability of something like this. You guys have an active EV or an active community solar campaign, right? So this is really sort of money where the mouth is.
Right.
But that kind of municipal owned generation, as long as it's structured right, also keys off of some of the things that my program rewards. So if you structure it right, again, you turn that $5,000 into more grant funding. We really like to draw you in. Sometimes I don't like explaining it because it really does sound like, dude, the first one's free. Like, come on, but it is something that we could key off for future benefits. So
sure. Well, that's what $5,000 is not a lot, but it can help be the seed money for something much bigger.
Yeah.
So, and Drew, I don't know if you've been involved in meetings. I think I've talked about this before, and it might have even been before Chris was in this group. But my dream project is to put charging stations in all of our municipal parks, where we could have charging stations there, and then eventually, when we have some hybrids within our government fleet, to have a station there on a campus.
Right.
I don't think most people that come into the village campus, the offices and so forth, are there long enough to really charge. I guess they could for certain meetings, but then that's just usually the trustees and the planning board. It's kind of incestuous. So.
Yeah. I mean, the EV charging station at the village center would be great for me. I was also wondering, EVs, when they're getting charged, is drawing power off the grid, which may not be fully renewed, depending how things work out. It might not be 100% green. So there's a lot. It's fun to talk about $5,000, but
right.
Yeah, that's beyond the scope of this money for sure. But long term, once more and more federal and state grants become available for these types of things, and we have a plan for it, then we can go forward. And this money could help with some of our match.
I mean, I would be remiss if I didn't mention that something that's gaining more popularity as the technology improves is the DC fast charger, right? Which that'll get an electric vehicle to full charge in. I just used one at a wedding in Jersey a couple weeks ago, and we got there within 45 minutes. So that starts to really expand the range of what's possible, because you're not like the level 2, you're talking 2, 4, 6, right? 8 hours potentially for a full charge. But the fast chargers, that's where you can really start to think like, cool, like maybe we put them, at the village campus, right? Maybe we put them in parks. Somebody comes by and it's like, I'm gonna go spend 45 minutes in a park, like that's fine, right? And so that is a tech that's becoming more accessible, for sure.
Does DC fast charge affect the life of batteries?
Not any more than regular charging
Charging.
infrastructure is
Okay.
going to.
Okay.
There obviously is some degradation over the lifetime of the battery,
Yeah,
but
but that's
DC
normal.
fast charging is not projected to do any more damage than what you would normally sort of do, plug it in at home, right?
Level 1, level 2.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All
So
right, that's good to know.
yeah,
And is the cost substantially higher right now since it's new technology?
it is higher, but to compensate for that, for instance, what is it? DEC's municipal zero emission vehicle program. The funding there is pretty periodic and kind of hard to pin down.
Right.
even like I text people I know at DC, I'm like, hey man, and they're like, they have no idea. But
It's like a stock buy on the market.
yeah, exactly.
Are you
But
talking
that,
about the ZEV infrastructure?
yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Okay, I would hold off on that for a little bit because they were getting way too much participants in it.
Oh,
Yeah.
So it's kind of slowed down a bit because they're still trying to process it and give people who already
Catch up.
applied for it the money. But
okay.
yeah, I'm sure it'll be a program that'll continue. So I would like put that in the back burner for now.
Right.
But from what I heard like a few
Mhm.
months ago, they were working through that. They just had way too many applicants and didn't have the
Okay.
money to
Yeah.
get that done. So
Well, we don't have any immediate plans or anything.
Yeah.
So it's not going to hurt us to wait a little while.
Yeah.
But that's
And
it's
there's
good to know because a faster charge time is what people really want.
yeah,
So,
they want the convenience of like a gas vehicle.
right.
Yeah, so a Zev, like I said, or like Jerry's saying, is yeah. But there's nice sort of charge ready. There's IRA funding for it. There is joint utilities of New York have make ready, depending on how that ends up getting structured.
Mhm.
So all of
Right.
this is without at the risk of overloading with information. There
Oh.
there are a lot of ways to expand the reach of that $5,000
Right.
grant. That and then again, you get one charging structure in, like Jerry, that's a CSC action, which helps with your progress towards silver, towards
Yes.
it helps achieve that next grant threshold in clean energy communities. So it's a great way to kind of keep it rolling.
Right.
Hey, Chris, just in terms of
Yeah.
keeping the things rolling, and I was just thinking with that CCA, the second
Yeah.
the CCA plus, there was a section in there about nonprofits doing projects, that kind of thing, and so I was just wondering if you were to do it, what parts of that bill, since we're going to be part of the municipality, hope that are part of that CCA. How would that? Do you know? Will you be familiar enough with that to kind of be able to advise us on how that may pair with financing of projects or other things like I don't know EV or panel installation, or because I know that it gets confusing because you have to buy it from the ESCO, but then if you get the panels, then you have the credits, then maybe you just build it so it's just always under your minimum of what you spend or what you'd use in terms of energy. But those kind of things can be complicated for a nonprofit municipality, and so with the ESCOs and that don't credit you and that kind of thing. So
I will say that CT Gen, with the town city of Ithaca, if that ends up, or when that ends up coming through, we'll have to kind of see, like you said, what form it ends up taking. But when that hits, and Jerry, please hop in and correct me if but when that hits, we'll have to kind of see. But that seemed a little bit more friendly than your typical CCA to the kind of like installation that you're talking about. But even with traditional CCAs, before the focus on community distributed generation, they weren't, the financing could get weird because you had a harder time accessing some of the incentives that used to be offered through your utility.
Right.
But I've never seen anybody like get refused. And it was a long time ago, but I was working with a town over in Steuben when they had Mega. And they were proceeding, it seemed like just fine with like thinking about solar panels. So it is a little bit tricky, you're right. And frankly, it can be a little bit weirder because now you're on a slightly different fee schedule, but it is doable. It is doable.
Yeah. It'd be great if we decided to go down different paths, to have your advice on kind of, or kind of
Yeah.
input on that.
Yeah, we're gonna be looking for advice from anybody.
Yeah.
At that
Yeah,
point.
and
Yeah.
as Chris said, we'll probably be on the lookout as well because you're not the only town that's interested in it.
Yeah.
So we'll be
Yeah,
trying
yeah.
to get as much information as we can from our colleagues.
Great.
We're following that. We're following that. Yeah, pretty closely. And not just us, our whole we have a little energy team at Cooperative Extension, and it's yeah, they're a buzz. So
Good. Yeah, it's an exciting program. So wishing it luck
yeah,
for all of us.
right.
Yeah. Be the pathfinders for this.
yeah.
Okay, let's see here. Our community campaigns, we were talking about doing a village/town event, but something's fallen through. I haven't heard anything in a while. I've got to go back through my emails and figure out where we are in that process.
We
I don't know
haven't
what's happened.
nothing. No
Yeah,
one at the town seems to want to email me or Guillermo back.
All right.
So we're still, we're still trying to figure that out. It would be, it's still beneficial for the village to move forward by themselves,
By
if that's
ourselves.
where we end up
Yeah.
at.
Yeah.
But it would be such a great opportunity to do together. And again, it just Guillermo and I can do our best, but we can't make anybody
No,
right
you can't. You can't
interested
force
in
them to
emailing
do it.
us, right? So
Okay.
so we'll keep working on that. But
Okay.
yeah, as a quick update, you haven't heard anything just because there hasn't been anything.
All right. Well, I get busy and distracted in various
Yeah.
tangents, so
Yeah.
I was afraid maybe I dropped the ball too.
No.
So just keep me involved, and if you
Will do.
would like help on who to contact and who you've contacted, and do I have more suggestions, just let me know.
Sure.
I think that the town is going to undergo a change in leadership and
Yeah.
progressive type of change in the November election.
Okay.
So once that happens, I think different doors and windows will open up between the village and the town.
On the scale of some of these programs, it's maybe a better use of everyone's time instead of spinning wheels now, right? If we that's the thing too, is like we're this close to those elections. I'm sure everybody I've reached out to is an elected official who I'm sure is deep in the transition planning and the campaigning and like
Yes,
all sorts of stuff.
they are.
So so yeah, it is almost maybe the thing of like, well, we weren't super going to be able to move on it in the next month anyways.
Right.
So why don't we just wait for November 16th and kind of let everybody settle into their desk, and then we figure it out there. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That might be a better plan.
Yeah.
But if something happens between now and then, we might be able to do it earlier. But I wouldn't put a lot of energy into it, but we can try, continue trying, but not to a great extent until after the election. Because I think that I think the whole town staff and elected officials structure is kind of in limbo, let's say. And they're probably dealing with lots of, like you've said, lots of transition fears. So it could be they just don't have the bandwidth to respond.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good plan. Let's wait till after the election, push it a little more, and I think we can make it happen down the road. If not, the village will do it by ourselves, and we'll just hold it on town property.
Yeah, and if Guillermo and I, we'll go do it across the line. I mean, there's nothing in the rules that says that the village can't sponsor something at like Salt Point, which is in the town but has heat pumps, right? Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be in your territory if it's still a worthwhile community event.
Sure.
So yeah, we can look at it and
negotiate with someone in the town that's using it and say if they say it's okay, we can do it there. But we'll look at some but I would like to get the town government involved, just because I think we can get a lot more impact from the providers and the participants, the vendors within the event. We'll get more solid payback.
Yeah.
If we do it with
Yeah,
both
yeah.
the town and the village, but if we have to do it ourselves, we will.
And if Guillermo and I hear anything, we'll let you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. For tonight, that's all I really had. We got a lot done. Anything from you, Drew?
No, I think I talked about the main thing I'd want to talk about, so, and I'll have to follow up, kind of see what I think it's doing on the CCA, but,
Okay,
yeah, I can't think of anything else.
okay. Then if it's okay with everyone, I will adjourn the meeting, and Jerry, I'll send everyone on this meeting a copy of the document that I edited during the meeting, and so I'll do that right after I shut down this.
Yeah,
So-
no worries.
Thanks, everyone. I appreciate all the input, all the work, and have a
Sure.
good evening.
Thanks, everybody.
Have a
See
good
ya.
one.